Good morning, sir. My name is Ijoma
Good
Miracle.
morning.
My name is Ijoma Miracle,
Hi,
and I'm a graduating student of
hi,
SS.
Miracle. How are you?
Fine, sir. So I'm strongly considering building a career as an international development expert. So, like, like, I want, and I embarked on um a project with Crystalliance Impact Africa Foundation. So I was told to get um, a first hand information about professionals in this career. So I don't know if you'll be able to spare me 20 minutes of your time to like for me to ask you some questions about professionals in this field.
Sure, go for it, Miracle. We are here already.
Okay, sir. So first of all, I will say like how would you describe a professional in this field?
Professionals in international development, like the name implies, is international, plus development. So when they talk about development, it means there's something to be developed. There's underdevelopment, in certain areas. So
Yes,
which
sir.
is why you have, international development play in that area, where they actually focus on helping organizations, countries, state to actually identify, the challenges or the gaps, in their economy or in their countries, and they actually help in solving it. So, and for that, they could go in different areas. So they are, you know, international development experts who are, from the finance industry. So you could be a finance person and still be an international development expert, especially if your area of interest is in finance. So, for example, we have some people working in financial inclusion. So their own job has been to help different countries, solve problem around making finance accessible to people in the rural community and all that. So a typical banker will sit in the bank and work in the bank, but an international development person will see how can we solve the problem for those that are unbanked, those who are in the bush. What are the solutions that we can bring to them? Some people are in humanitarian, they are international development, but they work in humanitarian aspect, when there is crisis of some things in other places. So these are people you can see them working with, United Nations or other organizations where they work as, peace envoy and other things. So what it looks like is for people who specifically are interested in global challenges and they have the skill to actually think through specific solutions, and most time it's not just them. So it's kind of collective work, but that's the primary thing in international development. So when you hear international development, you know that, okay, it's global. So not just a local thing, not just in Nigeria. So you're looking at it from global perspective, and then you now look at it from the other side of development. It means there's something that is underdeveloped that we need to make better, be it in education, in health, in finance, in energy, in climate, any sector that you can think about. So which makes it an interesting career because you can be anything within the international development. You can be an engineer, you know, working in international development. So I have some friends who are building engineers, and they're working in international development around sustainable housing and low cost housing, for the people. So that's what they are looking at. You have people in fashion who are in international development. You have people in fintech, different thing that you can think about. So I would tell you that international development is one career, that can encompass and bring all these other sectors together. But one unique thing that you must have is that problem-solving skill. So when you look at other career, I mean, you can just go to work and sit in the office, and you do the routine, the routine work. You work like machine. You already know what you have to do every day. But in international development, every day you are faced with new challenges that you need to solve. So you have to be someone that is a solution provider, problem solver, and a thinker. Do you get? So let me stop there. Hopefully, I've not answered other questions that you may have.
Okay, thank you, sir. So I also want to ask, how, how is the daily work life of an international development expert? Is it flexible, or do they have to travel from places to places to solve problems, or they just do it from their office, or they just call a board meeting and discuss about the challenges in a particular society?
Yeah, so the daily activities of an international development person, you have to go uh, to different places because the job also involved. Before you can solve a problem, you need to build relationship. You need to meet people. So you need to go to different places, different locations. That happens a lot, before COVID. But after COVID, people started using Zoom like we were doing, for meetings and all those things. So that actually reduced the amount of time that people spend, moving around. But even at that, you still have to move around. It involves a lot of, especially if you are with a very good organization, it might involve, traveling to different states within the country. If you are working with organizations that have a presence in other countries, so it might involve traveling to other countries. So people in international development, so they get to, do all those things,
Okay, sir.
yeah, so they get to do all those things. So for me personally, just to share from my own experience, so my own job as an international development professional is an international one. Like the organization I work with have presence in different, countries. Not even just this, the ones I've worked with before. So it usually just get me, traveling to different countries. In my previous job, I needed to be working with, government of different countries and other organizations, for example, in Mali, Burkina Faso, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, uh, Benin Republic, and other African countries. And sometimes, United States, the UK, and all that. So outside of that, every day you have a lot of meetings. So it can be tiring because I remember some days, for example, like yesterday, I had like 5 to 6 meetings of about 1 hour each or more.
Wow.
So you are just on the same spot, facing your laptop and you're talking to people. Yeah, of course, you're talking to people in different countries. But like I said, after COVID, my job so we had to get some restriction in traveling, except if it's very, very important. That's when you need to travel. Outside of that, you have to be on your system, just having to talk and talk and talk because it involves a lot of relationship management. The other question you asked about flexibility, yes, it's very, very flexible. So like I said, in international development, you are not, it also depends on the role that you're taking, but my own role is very, very flexible. I don't have to go to the office. Like I'm taking this call from my house. So it's only when I want to go out. But one thing I said when, in the first question you asked was that international development job task your brain, in terms of being able to think fast about problems, being able to solve them. So it's not so much of, sitting in the office. It's not a routine job like, bank where you need people to come, you must meet people, they want to pay you, they want to do that. Or maybe you work in, maybe with government and you have to be in the office, So it's a job that only needs your brain and your brain in the sense that you need to be able to think fast about this is a challenge, these are potential solutions, for it. And with that, you have to be spontaneous because you're, like I said, you're taking a lot of meetings, like I do. They're even talking about some things you don't really understand, so much about. So maybe you don't know so much about climate and you're in a meeting, they're talking about climate challenge in Mali. And with that, you need to be very spontaneous, think fast. In terms of, okay, what could that be? What could the challenges be? What could potential solutions be? So which means you must also be a good researcher, if you want to be successful as an international development expert. So you need to know a lot about different things, about energy, about health, about, of course, you don't have to be the expert per se, but you need to understand the subject matter, across multiple sectors. So that's what I do, on a daily basis.
Okay, sir. So what do you like? Like, what do you like most about your job? What do you enjoy more in your career, in your field, like the career you do, like as an international development expert? What do you enjoy most?
Yeah, two things, but both are related, is in the kind of, the people you relate with. Like I said, international development involves you talking and working with a lot of people. So for me, like, I get to meet a lot of new people, you know, because it doesn't get me, or to sit in just 4 walls, of a building, in the office. So when you travel, when you go for meetings, you're meeting new people. You're keeping relationship. You are talking to government leaders. You get what I mean? So that's one thing I love most. That's one. The second thing is, the joy that comes with, contributing to solving a problem. So let's say there is a challenge around environment or whatever in a particular community, and you are part of it. You help them to conceptualize it, and you work with your team to bring about a solution, and they implement it, and it's looking great. Like, people are benefiting. Their problem is solved, and they are living a better life, maybe in health or whatever. That joy that comes with, oh, I'm not just working like a machine in one office and just doing the same thing every day, but I'm working to solve specific problem. So those two things are very, very interesting, about international development. That's opportunity to meet a lot of people. You meet a lot of people, while you're building a relationship, on the job. And then that benefit of being able to solve, other people's problem. And outside of that, if you get a good job, one thing I enjoy on my own job, even though I don't do so much of that now, I used to do like excess, in my previous job, is also traveling. So if you enjoy, traveling, you get that in international development, you travel and you get tired, at some point.
Okay, sir. So what is the most challenging? How would you describe what is the most challenging part of your career?
So the biggest challenge, I mean, I had mentioned earlier, is that you need to know something about everything. You have to be very, very vast and spontaneous. So that's the most challenging part. But if you can build yourself, that could actually become your strength. So it will no longer be a challenge. But so for me, it's no longer a challenge, specifically. But when you look at it, it's a lot of demand on you as one person that you need to know about, health. You need to know about energy. You need to know about finance. You need to know about this, that. Even though, like I said, you don't have to be expert in everything, but you need to know something about everything, because you don't know the problem, that they might bring your way. So that's one key thing. So number two challenge on the job is actually also come with, managing too many people. I mean, maybe not for me, for a lot of people, especially when your personality, when you are kind of an introverted person that you don't like to talk, it's going to be a big challenge, because then you have to relate with a lot of people, So, and if you are the type that don't want to really relate a lot, you have to force yourself. So it will be a challenge to start with, but you can build on it, for that to become your strength. But outside of that, it's just mainly having to be spontaneous, and you need to understand, a lot of things. So that's one thing you have to take note of, in your journey as an international development professional.
Yes, sir. So what short-term projects can I embark on right now?
What can you repeat that?
What short-term project can I embark on right now to help me explore the career?
Short-term project that you can embark on.
Yes, sir.
So I would not, I don't think it will be easy to just recommend a project. So the project you can embark on will be based on what challenge you are seeing. So what I would advise you to do is to look as an international development person, start from, there's something we call local to global. So before you go global, you start locally. So look at your environment and see what are the challenges that people are facing and how can you think about something you can do, maybe advocacy around it, talking to people about how they can solve it and all that. And you can link it back. So after this call, you can go and research on SDGs, that's Sustainable Development Goals. So there are 17 goals developed by the United Nations to guide international development experts. You see end hunger, uh, quality jobs, saving, the sea body and all. Just go and write it down, Sustainable Development Goals. So you see 17 goals, and you can pick one that you think interests you. For example, if it's end hunger, you can do advocacy. There's a lot of hunger in the land now where people are hungry, the food expensive and all those things. So you can just develop some research and just go on the street or in your community, sensitizing people around how they can actually do maybe vegetable planting, in their own, just in their little, maybe small land they have in their compound. Do you get? So people can
Yes, sir.
plant vegetables, they can plant tomatoes and all those things. People are even, in very small land, people even plant some sort of yam. So it's a practice that people can have to actually, because this thing is a collective effort, not everybody depending on government or depending on one farm somewhere to get food. So you can do things like, so you can research about it and talk to people about it to say, how can you on your own way, in your own way, solve this? Or if you don't want to do that, you can look at, oh, health. Maybe students, teenagers in your schools or in your community, they have challenges with opening up, to people about, what they are doing, their health and all those things. You can do an advocacy around, why it's interesting for you to open up, to understand your health early, So like I said, international development is about identifying a challenge and looking for how to solve it in your own way. Solving it doesn't mean you will now see it will change immediately, but it could mean you just adding your voice, advocacy, you understand? Or it could mean you doing it a practical way. For example, you might want to show people how to plant and do it practically. Or community maybe is dirty. I want to show people why it is not good to drop plastic or how you can recycle plastic and all those things. You can show them in a way to say, oh, maybe you work with some of your friends, you clean up maybe like a community over a weekend, maybe not a large space so that you're not tired, but maybe a little space, but just to show people how it is done. Or maybe you stay on the street for some time, you see people dropping light on or something, and you are there just to watch and pick it up and talk to them that it is not good, to drop this. You need to properly dispose, your garbage or your waste. So those are, I've mentioned different things. I've mentioned like health, environment, uh,
End of.
agriculture. So you can see how international development get into different careers, but it is by you identifying a challenge. So I will not tell you what to do, like I said. So it is left to you to identify which challenge that whenever you see it or hear about it, gets you upset the most. Do you get? Maybe
Yes, sir.
when you see that somewhere is dead, you get upset. So look for how you can sensitize people to help solve that. Or maybe when they take the light, you get upset. You want to talk to people about, okay, alternative energy, oh, this why solar is good, it's natural source of energy and all those things. Just think about that challenge. So for international development, nobody will tell you what you are passionate about. It is you that will know. When I see this problem, it always vexes me. I always get vexed, and I'm always thinking, how can we solve this thing? Or it could be even be in school that you get tired of student not passing a particular subject, And you think, okay, how can you help? Maybe one of the things you could do is when the school, okay, it's in a week, so I don't know. Maybe through the summer program, you can say, oh, let me teach, some of these things, or let me sensitize the student about this particular thing so that they can know it. So you think about a challenge, and when you're done thinking about it, maybe through your coordinator and Crystal lesson, you can reach back to me so we can review together and see how you can implement it. But yeah, think about that challenge that you think you want to solve, and that's how to start your career on the immediate as an international development professional.
Okay, sir. Sir, what other advice would you give someone considering to build a career in this field?
Yeah, so the biggest advice is to actually uh you know in, like I said, you need to be very vast, so you need to build your knowledge base. So in terms of advice I would give is don't run away from any challenge you see. Be active, be an active citizen. They call it good citizen, even where you are, because that's where it starts from. So in your community, they are doing things, environment, and be the part of the people that want to champion change. So, like I mentioned when we started, that international development expert, they look at where challenges are in the community, in the state, in the country, across the world, and see how they can solve it. So for you that you're just starting, the advice would be starting with your immediate community. Be an active participant, in whatever is happening. Even it could even be in church or anywhere. Like, oh, they are doing something that's solving problem. They want to give people food, even if you are not donating, but to add your voice to say, okay, this is how this thing should be. Uh, you are not part of the people that is, as an international development person, don't be part of the problem. So you need to also, because people will start looking at you. Like for me, anytime I talk about something around, like if I do it wrongly, people say, but this is what you do as a career. So why are you, talking like this? So you need to know how to relate. So for example, as an you're always careful to say, in international development, we talk about gender equality at some point. So you're always careful to say, uh, this person is weak because she's a woman, or this person is stronger, So you don't let your cultural bias, come out. So you become like an international person, because culture are different. So as an you, of course, you're not living all your culture as a Nigerian, but you want to imbibe like an international culture to say, okay, I understand our culture here. I understand what it is in Brazil, what is it in US, so you're able to relate and live, with everybody. So what you need to do is be an active problem solver. Don't be part of the problem. Don't be part of the complainers, when people are complaining. Of course, I'm not saying you should not say, oh, this thing is not going well, but as you're complaining, you talk about the solution to say what might be done. So don't complain like others will do. This country is too bad, it's too bad, and you leave it at that. If I can, things are so bad, and I don't think this country will get better. No. So you can complain, oh, this country is bad, there's no energy. You now end it with, I wish there could be this opportunity, this solution that will come. That's how an international development person thinks, because you want to develop what has been underdeveloped, in a while. I hope that's okay.
Yes, sir. Sir, so one last question. Sir, um, when I made the research, I saw that for entry level, you have to have 0 to 3 years experience, like up to 3 years of experience. So, sir, if I do these things, you are telling me to do, like this thing, can it be counted as an experience when I want to, like, when I'm looking for a job, when I'm done with tertiary education?
Yes, very much. So
Yes, sir.
one thing I would advise you also is, when you get to tertiary institution, make sure you look for all these associations that always do projects. So for example, in some university, you have ISEC, you have JCI, you have Enactus. There are lots of them. They organize seminars. You must make sure you are a part of it and you take active role. All those things count as experience. Even the one, if you do it now, it can't as experience. So the reason why people don't have experience is people wait until when they graduate, and when someone tells them they need 3 years of experience, they will now ask question. This country is even bad. Where do they want me to get 3 years of experience? But no one is asking you that it's only post-graduation experience. They're asking you for your experiences generally. So, and you see a lot of students, they did not do any beyond just from class back to their hostel and to go to stadium to play ball or play PS, do all those things. So you need to join those association network that help you, to solve problem. Or even if it means, there could be some level of politics in international development, you taking like a role in your department association or whatever, so that you can be a part of people organizing specific, interventions to solve a challenge. So yes, just to answer your question simply, you can start building your experiences from now. In fact, you can have 4 years of experience before your graduation. Let's say you start now and you get to school. By the time you are done, you already have, 4 years of experience already that you can count. I have a lot of students like that even while they are in school, they always invite them, to Ghana, to other countries, because they participate in all these activities. So you see some of them participate in Model UN, where the Model UN, some of them are education ambassador. Even while in the university, they are health ambassador. So they're ambassador for like some of these projects. And when they want to do UN conference abroad, when they apply, they will invite them. So which means you also need to start researching to see what are the benefit opportunity conferences happening, maybe in another country or somewhere for students that they can sponsor, for students in international development. You can get all those opportunity. So yeah, so when you start now, it counts as experience, and it's really great to start very early. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you very much for your time, sir. I have always admired this profession since I got to know of it and made research from it. And it would be such an honor to hear back from you.
Yeah, no problem. Let me know how you are progressing, and feel free to reach out to me. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sir, um, can sir, this is my WhatsApp contact if you wish to reach out to me.
What do you say?
Sir, can I please get your contact so in case I want to reach out to you?
Yeah, feel free. You can get it from the Crystal End staff. They will give you
Okay, sir.
from your teacher.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
No problem. All the best.
Okay, sir.
Take care.
Yeah. Mr. Josh, thank you so much.
Sure. I appreciate the time. All right. Bye.
Yeah, bye.